Peter Parker is one of Marvel's most well-known heroes. This incredibly powerful Marvel hero has been fighting since he was a child. Spidey has defeated a slew of opponents, both heroes and villains, but only a handful has managed to get away from his web. Today we're going to count down 10 Marvel characters that Spider-Man can't beat, so let's take a look. Before we get further, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified when our latest videos. Alright, let's get to it. At number 10, Carnage. When Spider-Man first came across Carnage, he bowed and pleaded for aid. Spider-Man was almost destroyed by Carnage, but he did manage to escape. This time, he required the assistance of one of his most passionate rivals to prevent something much worse from happening. When Carnage confronts Spider-Man, he drives him to his breaking point, forcing him to enlist the support of figures like Venom, Poison Dust, and Black Cat. Carnage's superhuman strength and ability to create weapons make him such a dangerous opponent. At number 9, Professor X. Professor X, the leader of the X-Men, is the one X-Man who Spider-Man has no chance against. Spider-Man doesn't have any sophisticated headgear to shield himself from Professor X's superpowers. In fact, Professor X invaded Peter's mind to make him forget why he was there in the first place. Spider-Man rushed away from the scene, leaving the X-Men he'd just beaten up bewildered. The Mind Control Master then disclosed his involvement, having totally recorded Peter's thinking. At number 8, Thor. Some characters are simply too powerful for Spider-Man to take on. As the Prince of Asgard and God of Thunder, Thor, one of the most powerful creatures in the cosmos, it's easy to argue that a God of Thunder would easily belong on that list. Thor is one of the most feared fighters in the cosmos and can battle toe-to-toe with the likes of Hulk and Thanos, while Spider-Man is relatively less powerful. In the comics, he cannot compete. There's no reason for these two to be a conflict. They were on different battlefields throughout the Infinity War, and thus Thor missed the Civil War. When Spider-Man went on a 5-year break, in the climax they shared a battlefield and attended a funeral together. At number 7, Iron Man. Iron Man is one of the most powerful characters in the universe, and yet his morality or judgment has been called into question on multiple occasions in the comics. One of these occurrences was during one of the greatest comic narrative arcs of all time, Marvel's Civil Conflict, when Tony Stark and Steve Rogers were set against each other owing to ideological disagreements, resulting in an all-out war. Tony's crew constructed the Thor robot, which was used to confine heroes in the negative zone. When Peter chose to go, he took Bill Foster's life. Tony was prepared, having foreseen his defection from the Tony Squad to the Cap Big Fan Spider-Man team. Tony unleashed his repulsors on the wall crawler as Peter sought to flee. He tried to flee, but with Tony's help, he was badly hurt. At number 6, Mephisto. Mephisto utilized his greatest power, the power of the deal, but he wasn't trading in souls anymore. Instead, he exploited the love that he had for Mary Jane. Not only was Spider-Man unable to overcome the Red Menace, but he also received exactly what he desired. He became a pawn. The same guy who cursed Johnny Blaze and twisted the Scarlet Witch's children is involved in the Devil's plans. Thor and the Hulk can destroy Peter's face with their fists, but Mephisto uses his powers to attack the most susceptible portion of his body, the heart. At number 5, Anti-Venom. Spider-Man has encountered a variety of symbiotes, including Venom. Anti-Venom, Venom's opponent, is a one-of-a-kind creature that Spider-Man's never been able to destroy. He's a one-of-a-kind hybrid symbiote. Some remnants of the symbiote remained in Eddie Brock's body and bloodstream when Venom and Eddie Brock split up. Eddie was infected with cancer and underwent a number of experimental treatments in an attempt to cure him. The residues of the Venom symbiote were joined with white blood cells, resulting in the creation of Anti-Venom, a new white symbiote. Anti-Venom had little chance against the radiation that gave Peter his abilities from the body. At number 4, the Hulk. The Incredible Hulk is an unstoppable force in the Marvel Comics. One of their earliest collisions took place in the same issue as the debut of Spidey's longtime arch-rival, the Green Goblin. When it comes to strength, the Hulk typically outclasses Spider-Man. As a result, the combat mainly consists of the Hulk crushing everything in his path as Peter tries to avoid. He never defeats him though. He eludes and escapes, but if Spider-Man confronted the Jolly Green Monster, he'd probably have his arms ripped off by a brilliant scientist with an anger problem. At number 3, Galactus. There have been times when Spider-Man was able to cause significant damage to Galactus' heralds. A being known as Fire-Lord was granted the power Cosmic as a herald of Galactus, while Spider-Man was allowed the Enigma Force, a power that selects a worthy being in their time of need, and was given the powers of Captain Universe. This enabled him to engage in combat with, and even defeat, cosmic beings like Fire-Lord. His Lord, on the other hand, is a different story. He stands higher than Celestials and is filled with cosmic power. At number 2, Shang-Chi. In the events of Spider Island, there are very few reasons why Spider-Man and Shang-Chi would ever battle one another. The truth is that Shang-Chi is just a mastery of a mind and body, and no one will be able to beat him in hand-to-hand combat. Shang-Chi has effectively served as Peter's mentor and sparring partner. In previous instances in past plots, Peter's tried to punch first and ask questions afterward, but he's never been able to reach this level of mastery. The MCU's 10 rings now power Shang-Chi. And at number 1, Black Panther. Spider-Man rarely encounters certain characters. The Black Panther is one of these individuals. An abduction was brought up by Spider-Man and Black Panther. T'Challa was suspected of being involved. This particular altercation was brief. Although Spider-Man landed a couple of decent blows, the Black Panther was able to effortlessly overpower Peter. This makes sense, and it shows why T'Challa is one of Marvel's most underappreciated warriors. His strength and reflexes aren't nearly as good as Spider-Man's, but he's close. Well guys, that's it for this one. What'd you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. If you're new to our channel, be sure to sub and ring that bell so to get notified about our latest videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.